Chelsea won, Manchester United won. And before we get even further into talking about this match, I have to say I'm very disappointed in this Chelsea team here. Chelsea, I am very disappointed in you. Very, very, very. You should have won this game. You should have won this game. But I think United were actually smart. They took the smart approach here. Not many times we'll say this about United, but Michael Carrick, in your 2 games as interim boss, you did good. You beat Villarreal and you picked up a point off Chelsea. And if you ask me, I would not have predicted you to actually win any of these games. So I did predict a loss, by the way. So well done. Well done, United, who were definitely short-handed, hampered, handicapped coming into this game, while Chelsea, they had all the guns available. Literally all available, with the exception of a few players dealing with injuries and niggles right now. So, from the notes, Werner, Loftus-Cheek, Alonso, back in the team, Ziyech, Chalobah, Hudson-Odoi. And I think it's a team picked on form and forced by some injuries as well, because it was kind of a new look type Chelsea team that you would expect a Mount, a Havertz, a Lukaku from the start, and Azpilicueta. But Tuchel actually went in with the aforementioned players here. You take a look at the lineup here. You had a Mendy in goal, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and Chalobah as a back 3, right? Chalobah purely on merit because he's done well. Alonso because Ben Chilwell picked up the injury, or maybe they would have rotated anyways, right? Jorginho, oh man, let's not even talk about him too much, but we'll get to him. Loftus-Cheek on merit, I think. Kante's injury as well. And Reece James, mainstay at the right back position, but Azpilicueta, could get a look in as well. Timo Werner, I was surprised that they actually went with Timo Werner ahead of Lukaku, because I think Lukaku coming up against his old team United would actually, would have been an interesting one from the start. And if he's fit to be on the bench, why not actually start him? You see what I mean? Like, you paid $135 million for this guy, and you're on the bench against United, right? Hudson-Odoi and Hakim Ziyech purely on merit. I think Ziyech had a good match as well. So for United, their hands were a bit tied, and it was some weird tactics actually applied here by United. Very, very defensive, if you ask me, with no Lindelof, no Maguire, pardon me, and no Varane available, no Luke Shaw. So Alex Telles, Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof had to do the thing at the back. I think Wan-Bissaka was the weakest of the bunch on the day. Wasn't that good, made a few mistakes and everything, and give away the penalty as well. That United could have won this game, but give away the penalty that Jorginho slotted in. So I think Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof played a lot better than a Maguire. Seriously. And I like their no-nonsense approach on the day, where I could remember one time a ball came in and Bailly just belted it up in the stands. So sometimes you need that, though. You need that. And he's had a horrid time at United. He's been there for a while as well. And he's not really done well. But he did well on the day. Well enough to keep Chelsea just to a point. Look, the midfield, I think it was a little too rigid, if you ask me, with Fred, Nemanja Matic, and Scott McTominay, with Bruno Fernandes just a little bit above them. And I was really surprised that Ronaldo wasn't starting this game. And this was kind of weird tactics, to be honest, but it actually worked. But who knows? What if Ronaldo played? Would it have actually worked out for the better or for the worse? But I think good result in the end, picking up a draw against the team that's top of the table, before the game. Marcus Rashford and the goal scorer under the Jadon Sancho. But it is a tough call not to actually start Ronaldo. And Carrick said that he did have a talk with Ronaldo. But if you ask me, Ronaldo starts every time. But I think it's a tactical move where they've been saying that Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo are kind of occupying the same space a lot of times, you know what I mean? Where Bruno would drift into some positions, Ronaldo finds himself in that position. And who knows, maybe that could actually be the problem with the Portuguese national team too, why they find themselves in a playoff for the World Cup, right? Who knows? Maybe one of these players need to be dropped. Maybe that's what the approach should be. Maybe the team is a bit too heavy. Portugal I'm talking about. And maybe United be a bit too heavy as well. So, look, at the end of the day, we can't really criticize the decisions made by Carrick because it worked. It didn't look like it was working at the beginning, but it worked. It really, really worked, man. Look, what I was surprised to see was this. Mr. Phil Jones on the bench. Phil Jones, who lifted the last title that United actually won under Sir Alex Ferguson. He was there. I saw the picture. He was there. You see what I'm saying? Dean Henderson's situation is also another crazy one because think about what he was doing at Sheffield United, and then he decided to go back to United to try for the number one spot. He was given the number one spot temporarily, but lost it, and now he's a forgotten man. You see what I mean? Maybe he should have stayed at Sheffield, and Sheffield would have been still being a Premier League team, right? But the bench didn't look too strong with a Juan Mata, Diego Dallo. Lingard did come off the bench along with Danny Van de Beek and Cristiano Ronaldo with Mason Greenwood, who I was surprised to see there, an unused sub, and Anthony Martial. If you look at the Chelsea bench, very, very strong with Lukaku, Havertz, Mount, Saul, who's been a waste if you ask me, Christian Pulisic, who looked bright off the bench, Barkley, I think his days at Chelsea might be numbered, Aspilicueta, Christensen, and Kepa, who can't wait till January hits. He wants the AFCON to actually happen to get some opportunities, of course. The world's most expensive goalkeeper there. But look, let's talk a bit about the big events in the game, right? Second minute, Ziyech with a shot saved by David De Gea. He should have passed it to Loftus-Cheek. I think what hampered Chelsea in this game more than anything else was the decision-making in the final third, where Ziyech should have passed for the tap-in, but he chose to go for glory. But you got to give it to David De Gea, though. In multiple games, he's just looked good. He's been United's best player this season. Definitely been, without a doubt, the best player this season. And he's been there, you could say he's been there since the Sir Alex Ferguson days, so you expect that from him as well, to just be an example for the others to follow. Another chance for Chelsea in the 4th minute, and Hudson-Odoi also chose to shoot. He could have passed it, but it was a really good save again by De Gea. But Timo Werner was wide open, begging and screaming for the ball. Who knows? He may have put it over the net. We know Timo Werner, though. See what I'm saying? So, first 10 minutes, it was a really good start by Chelsea. They had United pinned down. They were very sloppy. They looked disjointed. They looked rattled, by the way, at the beginning of the game. They looked like they didn't have a clue what was going on. But the confidence grew, though. The confidence really grew. I think the first 30 minutes of this game was a bit of a snooze fest, if you ask me. Especially after the first 5, between the 5th and the 30th minute. I was like, what am I watching here, man? No team was really dominating. No big chances were being created. And it was just back and forth stuff that was really not, easy to look at. But the 31st minute, Rudiger, that shot that hit the crossbar. Oh, man, if that had went in, that would have been awesome, man. Good little fingertip save by De Gea again. And that was the last major thing that really happened in the first half. 0-0 at halftime. I think better decision making by Chelsea would have got them 2-0 up. But it was De Gea to the rescue again for United. And look, when your defense isn't the best, you need your goalkeeper, who is also part of the defense, to come up big and keep you in the game. So, look. The big moment of the match, really big moment of the match, came in the 50th minute, man. Jadon Sancho, who was crowned king of the match, scored his first Manchester United goal in the Premier League. He did get one in the Champions League. So you could see Sancho growing in confidence. I think the last 3 games was actually his best games. The Watford game, he looked good. The Villarreal game as well. And this game against Chelsea, he was on point there because 50th minute, Ballon d'Or favorite Jorginho, according to the Chelsea fans, of course, he fluffed the skied clearance by Bruno Fernandes. All Jorginho had to do was to face the ball, take it down, but he kind of approached it from an angle, and that was a horrible first touch. Jadon Sancho was right there to steal. He ran in behind. Rashford was there for support, and he used Rashford as a decoy, a dummy, pretended he was passing the ball, but opened up his body to actually put past Mendy, who couldn't come up with the heroics at that point of the game. That was totally against the run of play, if you ask me. And I couldn't believe it, man. United were in the lead. I was actually hitting up my boy Ankit over on Twitter and telling him, listen, man, you got to pray for something to happen here because you're losing this game, man. I look-y wanted Chelsea to lose the game. As a City fan, I wanted them to drop all 3 points. But, yeah, 2 points is good. 2 points dropped is good. So, Chelsea did get a break. Loftus-Cheek, he actually failed to find Timo Werner, who was in wide open acres. And if he had taken a pass a bit earlier, it would have could have resulted in an opportunity. Timo Werner got an opportunity as well. 58 minute that he just blasted wide. I think with the time he had on the ball, if he had, had more poise, he could have actually put it past De Gea. So, look, Sancho with his first Premier League goal was taken off. Ronaldo came on in the 64th minute. And maybe some are saying, okay, with you being up 1-0 in the 64th minute, Ronaldo, is he the right choice at that time and point? Is he the right player to bring on at that moment? Because if you check the bench, all jokes aside, that may have been the right time to reintroduce a Phil Jones, you know what I mean? Because you have him on the bench, why not? Bring him in. You see what I'm saying? And note I said, all jokes aside, bring him in. Give him the opportunity. Maybe he's the man you need. Maybe he's the catalyst to take you guys to higher heights. You never know. If he's been training and you think he's fit enough and reliable enough to be on the bench, bring him in the game. You see what I'm saying? Bring him in. Have another defender there. Preserve the lead. But I from what I saw is United were going for this to score more. United were actually, they upped the ante. After they scored, they really upped the ante. And they had Chelsea, rattled a bit. I love the word rattled, by the way. I know the Chelsea fans were rattled too. But they look good. They look really good. They really, really look good. And I think Chelsea at that point of the game wasn't really taking their chances. The amount of corners they had, about 11 up until that point. And they wasn't really making use of those set-piece opportunities. They ended up having 15 corners comparing to United's 2, right? 24 shots comparing to United's 3. It was a game that Chelsea should have never drew. You see what I'm saying? They should have won this game. So United with only 34% possession, 3 shots at goal, 2 on target, would walk away feeling like they just pulled off the biggest diamond heist of all time. You feel me? Because I think Tuchel and Chelsea, they didn't make good decisions in this game at all, man. And it brings the question, again, does Tuchel actually have a plan B? Every time I ask this question, Tuchel actually show me that he does have a plan B too. So you'll see in the next game. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But look, talking about corners, a corner came in and Wan-Bissaka kicked Thiago in the back of his heel. And it was very sloppy because that's Thiago Silva. He was not a threat at that moment. He was definitely not a threat. They had already dealt with the initial ball. And Wan-Bissaka, who have just I've really lost my ratings for Wan-Bissaka, you know. Seriously. I don't rate him like that no more, man. He's been really sloppy. And to be completely honest, if United ought to do a bit of overhaul, and I think Wan-Bissaka needs to be dropped to the bench, man. Seriously. He needs to be dropped to the bench. He has not been playing well. He really hasn't been playing. I think United could do it. Sorry, Juan. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry, A1. You haven't been playing well. I just want to call you out. You cost United 3 points there. And as a City fan, I'm pissed off, man. See what I'm saying? I'm pissed off. Even though I'm a City fan, I wanted you guys to take all 3 off Chelsea. I'm pissed off, man. You see what I mean? I know people will be like, as a City fan, you're pissed off? Why? Yeah, I wanted them to win on the day. The only time I want United to win was actually today. And they done gone and messed it up. Dropping points. I'm gonna look at it as dropping points from a freaking winning position there. But still, it's good on you that you got a point. Jorginho stepped up and he scored. Scored. Hop, skip, score this time. You know, lately he's been missing a lot of them though. So, 77th minute around that time, a few substitutions were made. Chelsea were going for the game. Let's just take a look at the lineup here. You see exactly what I'm talking about. Hudson-Odoi came off, and Marcos Alonso also came off. 4 minutes later, Timo Werner off, and they were replaced by Pulisic, Mount, and Lukaku. Note I said Pulisic, Mount, and Lukaku, not Azpilicueta and Christensen or Barkley. More defensive type players with more defensive instinct. Tuchel wanted this win. So I don't want to hear no Chelsea fan telling me about, yeah, the draw is good. Tuchel wanted this win. He's pissed off that he did not win this game. After everyone's been picking 3 points off United, right? Watford, Leicester, who else? City, Liverpool. A few more other teams have been picking points. Villa, been picking points off United, and you at home, you allow United to pick points off you? Come on, man. Come on, I expected a better performance. I really did. United themselves were also going for the game. You see what I mean? The Ronaldo, Danny Van de Beek, Lingard substitutions was clear indication that both teams wanted the 3 points here, but they both had to settle for one apiece. So, look here. Look here. 82nd minute, Lukaku came on against United, right? Didn't really do much. But 87th minute, there was almost a meltdown here. Edward Mendy with a pass straight to Fred. And Fred, having a brain fart moment, didn't even know what to do with the opportunity. There was a player open for him to actually pass the ball to. Maybe that player was in an offside position. But Fred, man, you had enough time to do something to manufacture a better opportunity. But that chip was horrible. And the commentator said it would have been better if he tried the chip and it went straight over the crossbar, but it went straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, man. And that Rudiger miss at the end of the game, oh my God. If that had went in, that would have been one emphatic win for Chelsea. That would have been an emphatic win. But Rudiger again, you know, he didn't hold his poise. He just blasted it. It's like he just put everything behind that and flew over. Big miss. Would have been a winner. Carrick unbeaten as United boss. Ralph Rangnick would be announced sometime tomorrow morning as the interim manager for the next 6 months, and he would actually take on a consultation job, I heard, after, to try to get the club restructured and rebuilt to get back to their glory days, right? So 1-1, 1 point apiece. And for Chelsea, they stay top of the table, but they do allow Man City and Liverpool a sniff, with City being 29 points. So if Chelsea drop points in the future and City win, then Man City will go above and Liverpool could also do the same. So for Chelsea, the next game is against Watford, London Derby on Wednesday. So, and then they do have another London Derby against West Ham United. So they will be hoping that they actually get more than 1 point in those games. 3, 6 in each in both, I mean. So for United, their next game is against Arsenal. That's a big one. Historically, a big fixture. I don't know too much about these days with the way both teams have been performing, but Arsenal find themselves above United going into this game at Old Trafford, where they will look to pick 3 points off the Devils. So, look, good point in the grand scheme of things for United there, you have to say, because Solskjaer just got the sack. I know I haven't really said his name too much, but he got the sack after losing 4-1 to Watford, 2-0 to City, a 2-2 draw against Atalanta, a 5-0 loss to Liverpool, and a 4-2 loss to Leicester City, 1-1 draw to Everton, a 1-0 loss to Aston Villa, and another 1-0 loss in the EFL Cup to West Ham United, and the other results not convincing at all. You could even throw in a 2-1 loss in the Champions League against Young Boys of Bern and a 1-1 draw against Southampton. It has been a horrible season. Horrible season for Manchester United, and they find themselves in 8th with 18 points after 13 games. They do now have 25 games to turn their fortunes around, right? It's not all doom and gloom, because guess what? You bring in Magic Man, so-called Magic Man, Ralph Rangnick. You got 25 games to play. You win all 25. That's what? 75 points plus 18. That's 93 points right there. You win the title. You see what I'm saying? So, it's not impossible, but it's highly improbable. Okay? Highly improbable.